To see videos like this early as well as other benefits, join me over on my Patreon. Welcome to Lore Evolution, the show where we look at the production histories and pop culture impact of various factions, species, characters and technologies from the realm of sci-fi and fantasy. Most of the videos in this series so far have been about Star Trek. It's a franchise with such a long history that common elements often undergo significant change over time. However, for this video, we'll be jumping over to Babylon 5 to dive into the truly fascinating production history of the Minbari. The Minbari, like everything in Babylon 5, were created by J. Michael Straczynski. The name for the Minbari came from the word minbar, the name for a pulpit in a mosque. Straczynski simply added on the I, but kept the same word for the Minbari homeworld. The overall look of the Minbari seems to be inspired by feudal Japanese culture and the New Age movement. Many of the costumes resemble the kamishimo outfits typical of the Edo era, but with enough tweaks here and there to appear a little more alien. Add to that the abundance of crystals, incense, candles, ceremonies, and a culture with an interesting duality emerges, which the show explored in depth, and we will get to later. For The Gathering, Babylon 5's original pilot movie, our introduction to the Minbari comes in the form of Ambassador Delenn, played by Yugoslavian-born Croatian actress Mira Furlan. She had become a well-renowned actress in Europe during the 80s, appearing regularly on stage as well as the big and small screen. She moved to New York and joined the Actors Studio, partly to escape the political turmoil in her home country at the time. From there, she continued acting on the stage, where she came across the audition for Babylon 5. By all accounts, the actress loved the character and relished playing the part. That is, despite her utter hatred for the makeup. Because Straczynski already had his plans for the long-running arcs written out, he knew in advance that Delenn would eventually undergo a physical transformation of some kind. However, the original intention was quite different. Straczynski's initial idea was for Delenn to start off as a male character who would then later transform into a female character. This is why the makeup design for Delenn is so different in The Gathering, as Delenn was intended to be a male character but played by a female actor. However, during production, attempts to distort Furlan's voice into a masculine-sounding voice weren't successful, so Straczynski tweaked his concept of the Minbari slightly, making them into an androgynous race. However, by the end of production on The Gathering, this idea was also scrapped, and Delenn was changed into a strictly female character. Much like how Leonard Nimoy's Spock in Star Trek was our guide to the Vulcan culture, Delenn became our guide to exploring the Minbari. It's quite surprising then to look back on The Gathering to see how different Delenn comes across in terms of personality. Delenn in The Gathering is prone to bouts of sarcasm and sly humour, as well as cunning and ruthlessness, mercilessly holding the Narn's Jakar in a state of intense pain when he threatens to expose one of the Minbari's many secrets. Overall though, Furlan gives a terrific performance, but it's in the series proper that she and the Minbari would truly shine. The biggest change specific to Delenn is of course the makeup design. With the male into female transition idea abandoned for the character, Delenn's makeup was made to fit her female appearance. Allegedly, however, Furlan, while liking this design a bit better, still disliked the look and disliked wearing it even more. She was much more relieved when in Season 2 her character made the transformation into a more human-looking Minbari. While this actually took longer to apply in the makeup chair, because of the way Furlan's hair had to be woven into the bone structure, it was much more comfortable to wear for the actress. The makeup team, however, weren't entirely happy with this initial look. The point at which the bone structure joined to the temples didn't put up with much wear and tear and would often come loose throughout the day. At a few points in Season 2, keen viewers can actually see where the appliance has started to come off. For Season 3 onward, the design was refined into a simpler look and more robust design. Over the course of Babylon 5, we come to learn a lot about the Minbari, their society and their religious beliefs. Pulling from the New Age movement, Minbari religion often prioritizes internal spiritual fulfillment as opposed to worshipping any kind of deity. While they believe the universe itself is a sentient being, it's not a being the Minbari pledge much devotion to. Instead, knowing the intentions of the universe itself sets the Minbari on a path to try and help the universe fulfill its ultimate goal. I must say, as fictional religions go, I find this one pretty fascinating. However, there's some duality in Minbari culture and society. While the religion emphasizes personal honesty and treating those around you well, the governmental system the Minbari use is one which we would consider extremely authoritarian. It's unclear if the caste system, which separates them into warrior, worker, and religious, is one which individuals are born into, or if they choose it. But either way, it's a very restrictive system. From what we're shown of their Grey Council, new members are chosen or at least nominated by those already on the council itself. Not exactly democratic. The Minbari sense of personal honour is simply trusted to be so airtight as to prevent any leaders from exploiting others for their own personal gain. This is a system which ultimately breaks down during the Season 4 Civil War arc. While Minbari society certainly emphasises personal fulfillment, it's pretty limited in terms of how an individual is meant to achieve that fulfillment. While its personal freedoms are scarce, it can be argued this has allowed the Minbari to become one of the deadliest foes in any potential war. So there we have the Minbari, probably the only race in Babylon 5 which underwent a significant change from a production standpoint. A deeply spiritual, peaceful and honourable people who also happen to be massively authoritarian and shit your pants scary if you get on their bad side. A shorter lore evolution history than usual, but nonetheless interesting. Okay, so I'm going to combine two people's questions here as they're both about the same subject. What did you think of the Dune 2020 trailer? Are you excited? And will you be doing videos on previous Dune adaptations? A big yes to all of those questions. I've watched the new trailer many times now and I think it looks absolutely stunning, and the inclusion of the Pink Floyd song was a nice nod to Jodorowsky's version which never got made. The cast is spot on for each character, and Denis Villeneuve is one of my favourite filmmakers working today. The guy has a virtually bulletproof filmography as far as I'm concerned. I have no doubts it'll be an awesome film. I just hope it'll do well at the box office as well. With regards to videos on previous Dune adaptations, yes, I will also be doing that. Hopefully Dune still holds its December release date, because I'd love to start getting Dune videos done next month. Thanks for watching. If you like what I do and want to see more videos, subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay up to date on all my new uploads. If you like what I do and want to help the channel grow, join me over on my Patreon where you can see videos like this early. Speaking of which, I'd like to quickly thank all of my patrons who are now appearing on screen. Have a good one, and as always, live long and prosper.